Hare Krishna, Mahaji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna and Pranam to devotees. So, welcome to our daily Srimad Bhagavatam reading session. So, we'll begin with yesterday's quiz. So, let me share my screen. So, we have 14 participants who have attended the quiz. Today, there was little twist in the quiz. First of all the questions were only true false, but we had kept one question where the answer is actually true, but we had marked it as false. So that whether we see that whether सब devotees सिर्फ true true करते जाते हैं कि कोई पढ़ भी रहे हैं. So one of the question was there where the devotional service rendered to a center of Godhead goes in vain. So the answer is true, but devotees answer is false actually, right? But we had marked it as true. तो जिसका वो गलत हुआ है वो सही में गलत हुआ है. So you have scored, but there is a change in this. So Atul Prabhu जिनके full हैं, तो full नहीं है. So those who have scored 80%, they are actually scored 100% in that sense. So Rameshwar Parami Prabhu with 100% accuracy, Vrindavan Prabhu again with 100% accuracy. Pinky Mataji, Anshi Mataji, Vijay Mataji, they are all 100% accuracy. But Atul Prabhu and Geet Mataji and Anubhav Mataji. So they have scored 100%, but their answer actually is 80%. So like that. So we are requested ki please read the questions.
Hare Prabhuji, I think I misread it. It was goes in vain. I read it again. I made a mistake or you have made a mistake. So now it is clear. I never goes in vain. Anyway, that's right.
Correct.
Yes, even I had to attempt it second time because I thought I read it that it should be false, but somehow it said that your answer is wrong. So I attempted it again to read it more carefully. Then I again realized, no, it is false only.
So these surprises we will keep on giving.
We have to slow down, Prabhu.
So let us begin reading of Srimad Bhagavatam. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pisthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamine Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauri Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tadochaya Mudirayat Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Bhagavatam ki jai. So actually Giraj Prabhu was supposed to take the class, but I think Prabhuji got busy. So Prabhuji has ordered me and to continue with the coordination of the reading. So we'll continue reading. We are reading from first Canto, 6th chapter, verse number 28. Prayujyamane Maitam Shuddham Bhagavatim Tanum Arabdha Karma Nirvano Nyapatat Pancha Bhautika Prayujyamane. Having been awarded on me Tam, that Shuddham, transcendental, Bhagavatim, fit for associating with the personality of Godhead, Tanum, body, Arabdh, acquired, Karm, fruity work, Nirvana, prohibitive, Nyapatat, quit, Panchabhautika, being body made of 5 material elements. Translation and purport. By His Divine Grace, Abhay Charnarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Having been awarded a transcendental body befitting an associate of the personality of Godhead, I quit the body made of 5 material elements, and thus all acquired fruitive results of work, karma, stopped. So ये हम पढ़ रहे हैं, like Narad Muni is telling Srila Vyasdev जो हमने कल भी पढ़ा था, that he started chanting and he quits the body. But informed by the personality of Godhead that he would be awarded a transcendental body befitting the Lord's association, Narad got his spiritual body as soon as he quit his material body. This transcendental body is free from material affinity and invested with three primary transcendental qualities, namely eternity, freedom from material modes, and freedom from reactions of fruitive activities. The material body is always afflicted with the lack of these three qualities. A devotee's body becomes at once charged with the transcendental qualities as soon as he is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. It acts like the magnetic influence of a touchstone upon iron. The influence of transcendental devotional service is like that. हमने कल भी पढ़ा था that the body is like the body of a pure devotee and it becomes spiritual. और कल example भी उसका आया था about iron in fire is red hot, so it is fire only as long as it remains in contact with the iron in fire. Therefore, change of body means stoppage of the reaction of three qualitative modes of material nature upon the devotee. There are many instances of this in the revealed scriptures. Dhruv Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj and many other devotees were able to see the personality of Godhead face to face, apparently in the same body. This means that the quality of devotee's body changes from material to transcendence. This is the opinion of the authorized Goswamis via the authentic scriptures. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that beginning from Indragop germ up to great Indra, king of heaven, all living beings are subjected to the law of karma and are bound to suffer and enjoy the fruitive results of their own work. Only the devotee is exempt from such reactions by the causeless mercy of the Supreme Authority, the personality of Godhead.
Can you hear me? Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So, it is not that a pure devotee's body is at once a charge. It is that the body of the devotee is a charge at once with the transcendental qualities. तो कल से qualify करते हैं statement को. As soon as he is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. So, it is not just that pure devotee's body will be charged. It is that anybody's devotee body will be charged if he is engaged in the transcendental service. और वो हमने कल चैतन्य चैतामृत से पढ़ा था, दीक्षा काले भक्त करे आत्मसमर्पण, सही काले कृष्ण करे आत्मसम. That as soon as at the time of diksha, when a devotee completely surrenders to Krishna, then Krishna accepts him. So it is not just that the pure devotee body will be charged, but anybody's devotee body will be charged, because all the previous, at the time of diksha, all the previous karmas are taken away, and if the devotee does not repeat any sinful actions, then his devotional life grows full throttle ahead, like this. So one should realize that at the time of diksha or after we surrender to our guru, and then everything is surcharged, and if we don't commit offenses, then our journey to the spiritual world is on a very high path, speed, like this. So we should be very careful that once we surrender to our guru, or when we take diksha, that after that we don't commit any sin. And usually devotees don't commit sin. Usually they get problem with the offenses, which are more subtle. And Prabhupada is explaining here, it is like the magnetic influence of a touchstone upon iron. So, which means I may be iron, I may not have good qualities, but because a magnet is touching, like a magnet touches the iron and it pulls. So similarly happens to the body of a devotee. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Vrindavan Prabhu, you can read.
Hare Krishna. Kalpant idam adaye श्यानेयं वसीयुद्धन्वतः शिष्ययुषोरनुप्राणं विदिशे अत्र अहं विभो. Synonyms. Kalpante, at the end of Brahma's day. Idam, this, Adai, taking together. Having gone to lie down. Ambasi, in the causal water. Udanvataha, devastation. Shishyasoho, lying of the personality of Godhead Narayan. Anupranam, breathing. Vivisse, entered into. Antah, within. Aham, I, Vibho, of Lord Brahma. Translation. At the end of the millennium, when the personality of Godhead, Lord Narayan, lay down within the water of devastation, Brahma began to enter into him along with all creative elements, and I also entered through his breathing. Purport. Narad is known as the son of Brahma, as Lord Krishna is known as the son of Vasudeva. The personality of Godhead and his liberated devotees like Narad appear in the material world by the same process. As it is said in Bhagavad Gita, the birth and activities of the Lord are all transcendental. Therefore, according to authorized opinion, the birth of Narad as the son of Brahma is also a transcendental pastime. His appearance and disappearance are practically on the same level as that of the Lord. The Lord and his devotees are therefore simultaneously one and different as spiritual entities. They belong to the same category of transcendence. Great Krishna.
Very good point. You can continue, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Sahasrayuga pariyante उत्थायेदं शिशुरुक्सतः मरीचि मिश्रारस्य प्राणेभ्योऽहं च जज्ञिरे. Synonyms. Sahasra, 1,000. Yug, 43 lakhs years, 43 lakh years. Paryante, at the end of the duration. Utthai, having expired. Idam, this. Sisriksataha, desired to create again. Marichi Mishra, rishis like Marichi. Rishya, all the rishis. Pranibhya, out of his senses. Aham, I. Cha, also. Jagir, appear. Translation. After 40, how much it is? 430 crore solar years, after 4 billion years, when Brahma awoke to create again by the will of the Lord, all the rishis like Marichi, Angira, Atri, and so on were created from the transcendental body of the Lord, and I also appeared along with them. Purport. The duration of a day in the life of Brahma is 432 crore, 4 billion,
4.3 billion.
4.32 billion years, solar years. This is stated also in the Bhagavad Gita. So for this period, Brahmaji rests in Yoga Nidra within the body of the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, the generator of Brahma. Thus, after the sleeping period of Brahma, when there is again creation by the will of the Lord, through the agency of Brahma, all the great rishis again appear from different parts of the transcendental body, and Narad also appears. This means that Narad appears in the same transcendental body, just as a man awakens from sleep in the same body. Sri Narad is eternally free to move in all parts of the transcendental and material creations of the Almighty. He appears and disappears in his own transcendental body, which is without distinction of body and soul, unlike conditioned beings.
अंतर्बहिश्च लोकं स्त्रीन् प्रायमे अश्कन्दितावृताः अनुग्रहान् महाविष्णोर् अविघात गति क्वचित्. Pinky Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, sorry Prabhuji. Anta, in the transcendental word, Bahi, and Lok, three divisions, Prayami, travel, Akshantita, unbroken, Vrata, vow, Anugrahat, by the causeless mercy, Mahavishnu, of the Mahavishnu, Karano Dakshai Vishnu, Avigata, without restriction, Gati, in trance, Kvachit, at any time. Translation. Since then, by the grace of the Almighty Vishnu, I travel everywhere without restriction, both in the transcendental world and in the three divisions of the material world. This is because I am fixed in unbroken devotional service of the Lord. Purport. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, there are three divisions of the material spheres, namely the Udharva Loka, topmost planets, Madhya Loka, midway planets, and Adho Loka, downward planets. Beyond the Udharva Loka, planets, that is to say, above the Brahma Loka, are the material coverings of the universes, and above that is spiritual sky, which is unlimited in expansion, containing unlimited self-illuminated Vaikuntha planets inhabited by God Himself along with His associates, who are all eternally liberated living entities. Sri Narad Muni could enter all these planets in both the material and spiritual spheres without restriction, as much as the Almighty Lord is free to move personally in any part of His creation. In the material world, the living beings are influenced by the three material modes of nature, namely namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. But Sri Narad Muni is transcendental to all these material modes, and thus he can travel everywhere unrestricted. He is a liberated spaceman. The causeless mercy of Lord Vishnu is unparalleled, and such mercy is perceived by the devotees only by the grace of the Lord. Therefore, the devotees never fall down, but the materialist, that is the fruitive workers and the speculative philosophers, do fall down, being forced by their respective modes of nature. The rishis, as above mentioned, cannot enter into the transcendental world like Narad. This fact is disclosed in Narsimha Puran. Rishis like Marichi are authorities in fruitive work, and rishis like Sanaka and Sanatana are authorities in philosophical speculation. But Sri Narad Muni is the prime authority for transcendental devotional service of the Lord. All the great authorities in the devotional service of the Lord follow in the footsteps of Narad Muni in the order of the Narad Bhakti Sutra, and therefore all the devotees of the Lord are unhesitatingly qualified to enter into the kingdom of God Vaikuntha.
Hare Krishna. So, Meenakshi Mataji, should I read the Sanskrit?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can.
Devadattam imam vinam swara brahma vibhushitam murcheya yitva hari katham gaya manas charami aham.
Hare Krishna. Deva, the supreme personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. Dattam, gifted by Imam, this, Vinam, a musical stringed instrument. Swara, singing meter. Brahma, transcendental. Vibhushitam, decorated with. Muchya, Muchaitava vibrating. Harikatham, transcendental message. Gaya man, Manaha, singing constantly. Ch- chari, charami, do move. Aham, I. And
Mataji, can
I
you speak little louder? I think
yes,
was
translation. And and thus I travel constantly singing the transcendental message of the glories of our Lord, vibrating this instrument called Veena, which is charged with the transcendental sound and which was given to me by Lord Krishna. Purport. The musical strings instruments called Veena, which was handed to the Narada by Lord Krishna, is described in a Linga Purana, and this is confirmed by Shiva Jiva Goswami. This transcendental instrument is identical with Lord Shri Krishna and Narada because all of them are of a same transcendental category. Sound vibration by the instrument cannot be material, and therefore the glories and the pastime which are broadcast by the instrument of Narad are also transcendental, without a tinge of a material in inability. The seven singing meter, namely Sa, Sadja, Ra, Rishabha, Ga, Gandhara, Ma, Madhyama, Pa, Panchama, Dha, Dhaivatah, Ni, Nisadaha are all transcendental, are specifically meant for a transcendental songs. As a pure devotee of our Lord, Sri Narada Dev is always fulfilling his obligation to the Lord for his gift of an instrument. Thus, he always engages in singing his transcendental glories and is therefore infallible in his exalted position. Following the footsteps of Sri Narada Muni, a self-realized soul in a material world should also properly use the sound meters, namely sa, re, ga, ma, etc., in the service of our Lord by constantly singing the glories of our Lord as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
Pragayata swa viryani tirthapada priya shravah ahud iva me shikram sikram darshanam yati chetasi. Mataji, you want
Should
to
I?
read?
Pragyatah, thus singing Viryani, on activities, Tirtha Padaha, the Lord, whose lotus feet are source of all virtuous and holiness. Priyas, Priyashravaha, pleasing to hear. Ahutaha, called for, Ivaha, just for, me, to me, Shringam, very soon, Darshanam, sight, Yatihi, appears, Sit- Sitasi, Sitasi, on the seat of heart. Translation. The Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, whose glories and activities are pleasing to hear, at once appear on a seat of my heart as it called for as soon as I begin to chant his holy activities. Purport. The absolute personality of Godhead is not different from his transcendental name, form, pastime, and the sound vibration thereof. As soon as a pure devotee engages himself in a pure devotional service of hearing, chanting, and remembering the name, fame, and activities of our Lord, at once he becomes visible to the transcendental eyes of the pure devotee by reflecting himself on a mirror of a heart of a spiritual television. Therefore, a pure devotee who is related with the Lord is in loving transcendental service can experience the presence of Lord at every moment. It is natural philosophical in every individual case that a person like to hear and enjoy his personal glories and enumerted by others. This is a natural instinct, and the Lord, being also an individual personality like others, is not an exception to this psychology because the psychological characteristics visible in the individual soul are but a reflection of the same psychology in the absolute Lord. The only difference is that The Lord is a great personality of all and absolute in all his affairs. If therefore the Lord is attracted by the pure devotees chanting of his glories, there is nothing astonishing. Since he is absolute, he can appear himself in a picture of his glorification. The two things being identical. Srila Narada chants the glory of a Lord not for his personal benefit, but because the glories are identical with the Lord. Narad Muni penetrates into the presence of a Lord by a transcendental chanting. Hare Krishna.
etadhi atura chittanam matra sparsho chayamahu bhava sindhu plavo drishto haricharya anuvarnanam. Meena Mataji.
जी प्रभु जी अथर पढ़ो एतत् this high he certainly ortura
Aturtanam.
of those whose minds are always full of cares and anxieties. Mantra objects of sense in matra objects of sense enjoyment sparsha senses icha by desires mahu always bhava sindhu the ocean of nescience palava boat rashta experience hari karya activities of hari the personality of godhead anuvarnam
Anuvarnanam.
constant reaction recitation translation it is personality experienced by me personally experienced by me that those who are always full of cares and anxieties due to desiring contact of the senses with their objects can cross the ocean of nescience on a most suitable boat. The constant chanting of the transcendental activities of the Godhead, personality of Godhead. But the symptom of a living being is that he can't remain silent even for some time. He must be doing something, thinking of something, or talking about something. Generally, the materialistic men think and discuss about subjects which satisfy their senses. But as these things are exercised under the influence and of the external illusory energy, such sensual activities do not actually give them any satisfaction. On the contrary, they become full of cares and anxieties. This is called Maya, or what is not that which cannot give them satisfaction, is accepted as an objective for satisfaction. So Narad Muni by his personal experience, says that satisfaction for such frustrated beings engaged in sense gratification is to chant always the activities of the Lord. The point is that the subject matter only should be chanted. No one can check the thinking activities of a living being, nor the feeling, willing, or working process. But if one wants actual happiness, one must change the subject matter only. Instead, in, instead Instead of talking of the politicals dying man, one might discuss the politicals administrated by the Lord Himself. Instead of relishing activities of the cinema artist, one can turn his attention to the activities of the Lord with his external associates, associates like the gopis and the Lakshmis. The Almighty Personality of Godhead, by His causeless mercy, descends to the earth and manifest activities almost on the line of the worldly man, but at the same time extraordinary, because He is Almighty. He does so for the benefit of all conditioned souls, so that they can turn position and their position attention to transcendence. By doing so, the conditioned soul will gradually be promoted to the transcendental position and easily cross the ocean of nine seas. The source of all miseries in this is stated from personal experience by such an authority or Sri Narad Muni, and we can have the all experiences also if we begin follow in the footsteps of the great sage and the dearmost devotee of the Lord.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear author. You read very well.
Thank you, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So we will continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam tomorrow. If there are any questions or any comments, then we can take. I think Girash Prabhu is. I think Prabhuji has left. Okay. So no questions or comments. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Veshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Paridanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, मैंने धीरे तो नहीं पढ़ा ना प्रभु जी?
You will improve, no problem. Keep reading at home as well.
Okay, प्रभु
You
जी,
did well.
bye.
You did well. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Bye.